Drive your car every day, so you want to make sure that you take it. That's why we are here with our auto care sponsors, Bob Cugino from Western New York Auto Care. Now, Bob, we've talked about the fluids that you want to replace on a regular basis, but today we're talking about some of those things that are a little bit more detailed. And you were telling me that cars are on the road longer than they've been ever before.
Yeah, the average age of the car nowadays is actually 14 years old, the longest it's ever been in history. So the cars get more and more miles on them. They last really, really long. And there's some other maintenance things that need to be done other than the fluid changes that we talked about that you should perform your car to keep it running and keep it running well.
So as always, you have some great examples for us. So what are some of the things that we want to make sure that we're checking on as our car gets older?
As the car gets older, some of the things that are underneath the hood here are some of the rubber products. And some of the examples that we have are like a radiator hose. Now it's important to have those inspected and checked. Usually there's no visible signs that they're going bad or leaking until they do leak. So have somebody professional look at them, make sure they're not soft or there's any cracks or anything else of that would get ahead of any coolant leaks that you could possibly have. The next example we have is a serpentine belt. Nowadays, cars run on rubber bands, like we always kid around and say, but what we have here is a pulley system. And these pulleys will run things like your power steering and your alternator and your water pump and that kind of thing. And it's important to make sure that this belt is in good shape and so it doesn't break and leave you hanging on the side of the road.
So then what would happen if we don't fix something like your accessory belt?
Well, if you don't fix the accessory belt, like this serpentine belt example here, it would break and something like the power steering pulley or the water pump pulley would stop turning, and of course immediately the car would start to overheat, or in the case of the power steering pump, you would lose the power steering effect and it would steer really, really hard.
All right, what's this next rubber band?
This other one is the timing belt, and that's probably the most important of all. The timing belt controls the water pump, controls the cam and the crankshaft, and that will keep your car rolling. If this breaks, usually what happens is you have severe engine damage. So it's really important at about 100,000 miles to get the water pump here replaced and also the timing belt before it breaks. These are things that you want to get ahead of on your car before the problem happens so it doesn't get into very costly repair.
And these are things that you definitely want a professional to check out.
Oh, absolutely. As your car gets older, your Western New York Auto Care centers can inspect these items for you and let you know what the conditions are, and of course get you an estimate on what it takes to fix.
All right, well, thank you for this information, Bob. And as always, thank you for keeping our cars safe and sound on the road.
Always a pleasure, Matt. Thank you.
And of